All right, everybody, we're live. Episode 8, Season 2 of Just the Guitar podcast. So tonight we have a guest you may not have heard of before. You might hear of him soon. His name's Ericson Brown.
Hey guys.
So Ericson, first of all, thanks for coming on tonight.
Thank you for having me. It's a really big pleasure to be on here.
Yeah, so just for those of you who don't know Ericson, he's a blue belt under Lucas Leite, right?
Yes,
He's
Lucas Leite. The E is silent.
Oh, sorry.
Pronouncing a lot of last names is really hard.
So Ericson has, just to talk about some of his credentials quickly, double gold American Nationals, Nogi, quadruple gold, 5 Grappling California 2, Grapplers Quest Las Vegas, triple gold. So you're having a really good run at blue belt there, Ericson. So
yeah, that was actually just this summer. Those are just the ones from this summer too. So yeah, I didn't take a break after Worlds. I kept on going. So I'm taking a break through about November and December though, so I can really go and compete strong when 2015 comes up.
Excellent.
Hey, how did Worlds go? Sorry, Adam, I know you're introducing.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, I just want to know how did Worlds go for you?
Oh, it was quite a debate. They just implemented a lot of new rules this year, and I got to my 5th fight. I was doing really well, and I went against a guy from Alliance Brazil, and we were double guard pulling, and I have a really aggressive double guard pull. I'm trying to break the stigma that, oh, people stall in the double guard pull. I was going right to the Barambolo, and I was almost taking his back, and we kept on getting stood up because they have the new rule where you can't sit in the double guard pull for 20 seconds. But I think the referee made a mistake, and he said that he thought that you couldn't double guard pull at all. So I was almost taking his back, and I said, I thought to myself, you know what? If we double guard pull again, I'm just going to get the top, try to get that advantage point and fight from there. And as soon as I got to the top, I actually rolled into the leg drag, and the guy pulled me into the 50-50 guard, and then it was that back and forth. And it actually came down to referee decision, and the other guy got the referee decision. So everybody was cheering because they thought I would get the decision because I was really, attacking. The guy was really good too. He was the man who got first place. So, but it happens. It happens. I have to try to learn from that and I try not to dwell on it too much. I mean, being a referee is a thankless job. Even if you think they made a bad call, it's in the end, it's up to them. So.
Yeah, no, that's. Sorry, Adam. Go ahead.
It was so close because it'd be my first time placing. I didn't place at Pans. I also lost to the guy who got first, but that happens a lot because the guy who got first had the most matches. But I lost there, and it was the match to place too. It was the quarterfinal. Can you believe that? It was the 5th match, and it was the quarterfinal, and I was getting so excited because that was the match to place, and I would be up on the podium at Worlds, and yeah, I did get my hand raised, but it happens. So.
No, I was just going to mention. I was watching the highlight video you posted not too long ago. Share it here. Anybody that's watching should be able to see it. But you mentioned that you're really aggressive in the double guard pull, and you definitely see that in the video, and also a lot of really nice ankle lock attacks there.
Thank you. That's actually one of my one of the things I've been doing a lot recently have been ankle locks and ankle attacks. The reason I'm so aggressive from the double guard pull, I actually tried to get double aggressive before the double guard pull rule came out, but throughout my entire white belt career, I was just guard passing and playing close guard, but primarily passing. A lot of people don't know that. They think I've always done the Barambolo and things like that. But as I started to become more of a guard player and I really liked my guard, I had to decide, when I saw people in the double guard pool and they both wanted to play guard, I had to find a way to force them to go into my guard. So, for instance, if you like the pass, you have to have really good takedowns because sometimes the guy doesn't want to pull guard. I said I had to have a really aggressive double guard pull and attack their feet and force them to get the top, or force them to tap because 2 people can't play guard at the same time. So that's what, if you want to be a guard player, start to get a really aggressive double pull game and put so much pressure on them that they're either going to get penalties, you're going to tap them, or they're going to have to defend by getting the top and trying to put pressure. So
you're actually banking on attacking their ankles, and you want them to come up on top. You're willing to give away that advantage.
It depends. It depends. I mean, sometimes even when you get the top, if you get a really good ankle lock, you'll both get advantages. But every good competitor knows how to play the rules, and a lot of people don't like the point system. and a lot of my matches do end in submission, but what I found is that it's a lot easier to score advantages from the guard than it is from passing, because advantages you get from passing are if you flatten the guy in the half guard and you cross-face him, you get an advantage. But also, if you almost pass his guard, you get another advantage. But that's a very gray area with all the new inverting and different types of guards, and people's guards are getting better. A person can start to go to the north-south, but if the guy's inverting around, his guard was never really in any danger, and you don't get advantages. But from the guards, you have submission attempts, you have sweep attempts, and sometimes you can even go, and if you know you're not going to want to get in their guard, you can start to sweep them over and then let them get back to the top, and you rack up on advantage points and get that advantage point cushion, and then you can start to try to get points. So a lot of people are very against playing the system, but you have to do it sometimes. But I still get a lot of submissions too. I'm always submission oriented at the same time. So it's a controversial topic.
Ahmed, I was going to ask, like, because for anybody who knows, Ahmed refs a fair bit. Do you find that it's getting harder to score advantages these days, just with the way that the game is changing, or like is that your experience?
My experience is that it depends on the referee. My experience, it depends on the referee. Some referees are really, really hard to get advantages with. It seems like you almost never get advantages. And then sometimes you'll even just grab their foot and you're not even trying to stretch an ankle lock, and they're just giving out advantages like people give out candy on Halloween. You know?
Yeah.
They give advantages for everything.
But you know what, though? It's a fine line. You're right. It's like an ankle lock. A referee has to decide, is that really a dangerous ankle lock, or is it like a for show ankle lock? And I've lost plenty of matches. I've lost plenty of matches on fake advantages because somebody will, they reach up for the collar and they're grunting and they're like, they're putting on this face on. I'm like, dude, this isn't even on. What are you doing? So I'm pretty rough on advantages. Honestly, I don't give them out very easily.
Yeah, I've lost by advantages, I've won by advantages, and usually the advantages, I don't try to fake too many things. I mean, I would, especially not submissions. I never ever try to fake submissions. If I don't feel like I'm going to have something, I try to turn it into something else. But sometimes I will start to knock the guy over, and if he pushes me back, I'll just let him get back to the top, and it was an advantage because I did almost sweep him. And sometimes you have to play the system like that, not only for the match and to win the match, but sometimes if you're down on advantages, you're down on points, it does mess with you mentally. It sometimes, I notice, like, if I get a point scored off me right off the bat, maybe my guard pull wasn't great and I got 2 points scored off of me, it gets to you a little bit. Even if you feel like you can go and take his back, like, you panic just a little bit. Even an experienced competitor does. So, I actually... I really do like the advantage system. It's a very controversial topic. Some people only want submission things. Some people only want points. I like advantages because I've done a lot of competitions where there's only points and there's no advantages. And when there's 30 seconds left in the match and it's tied and nobody's able to pass, nobody's able to sweep, they'll just kind of hang out there because it's overtime or it's the decision. A lot of times when there's no advantages, there's no decision either. It goes into overtime. But if you've noticed some matches where it comes down to advantages, the guys are just going at it and they're trying to, like, dive in for takedowns just to get that one advantage point, and it's really exciting. So,
as you can tell, the viewers, you can tell this guy is very passionate. He just talks about jiu-jitsu. Like,
I know I'm talking over everybody.
No, that's okay, man. It's like, you know what? That's good. Like I mentioned, we've had guests on before who don't really say anything. It's like we're pulling teeth, So this is refreshing. Rami, are you with us now? I believe you are. Can you say something?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, fuck, finally.
You're not just staring at us anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so there we go.
Yeah.
Glad to be back on the podcast.
All right.
Thanks for having me back on.
I just have, for
Adam,
the video viewers, I do have a quick question for Rami here. Rami,
Right.
I can't tell if it's the light shining off of your headphones or if you've just been to way too many EDM events lately, but are those like LEDs on your headphones? Or?
No, these are actually really bad headphones they're like $10 headphones. They're not good at all.
You look like from Back to the Future right now. That big, like, chandelier thing on his head.
Like Doc.
Yeah.
You should call around and ask guys to send you headphones for your podcast. Maybe.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Mention them
We're
and will.
just on the
Anybody
verge of
watching?
signing a big deal for great headphones.
Anybody watching?
We're getting
Headphones,
signed,
I'd love
man.
That was a call to action, guys. Anybody watching, go and get them some
Dr. Dre, if you're listening, we need headphones.
Yeah. Dr. Dre, Eminem, all you guys.
Yeah, anybody in D12 really hook us up.
Hey Adam, can we get a proper introduction now? I know it was my fault. I took us off course here, but we're talking to Ericson, and I don't even know how long he's been training. I don't know. You're 18. You're barely 18. Like, so yeah, talk to us, man. Like, how long have you been training?
I've been training jiu-jitsu since I was 15 years old. When I was about to turn 16. So so just over 3 years now. I had my white belt for less than a year. I won the Pans and Worlds as a white belt juvenile. So so my professors gave me my blue belts, and I've been training a lot these last 3 years. It's been good. I love it. I think everybody who does it loves it, though.
Obviously, man. Obviously.
Are you training full time? Do you go to school? Do you have a job? Anything like that?
Well, I go to college. Actually, I'm majoring in kinesiology for physical therapy. Rolando Sampson was doing that too. You guys talked to him. He was doing that. And my academy is only 10 minutes away from my college, so I try to schedule my schedule around it so I can actually go to all my classes and train 2 times a day and lift once a day. I'm very busy, and I can later on or sometime I can explain like a day in my life with that, but I like to stay busy like that. So I like to.
So you said you trained under Lucas Leite?
Yeah, I train under Lucas Leite.
Is that Checkmat in LA?
That's in La Habra. If you guys don't know where La Habra is in California, it's in the Inland Empire. It's close to LA. It's not that far from LA.
Does Sean Roberts train with you guys too?
He trains with us too, a couple times a week. Cool. I love training with Sean. He's a nice guy.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've trained with him too. He's originally half guy up here too. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh wow, this is a small world here. So Rami and Ericson here have trained with Sean Roberts. We should get Sean Roberts on. Why haven't we done that?
Yeah, we should.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. And Lucas Leite.
Yeah. I've noticed a lot of jiu-jitsu guys, they don't always reach out for things. Some people have so much potential to get sponsors, to get interviews, but you have to go and you have to ask and you have to try to get those contacts.
I feel like it's almost like a culture thing. There's so many like well-known guys who almost you almost have to like pull in to get them to interview. Not in like a bad way or anything, but some of them don't even want to. They just want to focus on their training. They don't want to focus on promoting themselves or anything.
I know with Sean's personality, he would love to interview. He loves to talk about
I know he'd be great to have on. I don't know why I haven't. I've asked him before about it. It's just never worked out. We're definitely reach out to him. Anyway.
So I was just going to ask that just because you started talking about sponsors there, because you had mentioned, Ericson, when we were talking to you earlier, that you have a number of sponsors. So, what's that process been like for you? Like, has it been difficult? Did you have to reach out to a ton of people? Like how'd that work?
Yeah. Well, some sponsors do their contracts differently, or you sign on with them differently. I have had to reach out a lot, and sometimes, but the thing that annoys me the most, if anybody has ever reached out to sponsors, they get this: when you reach out to some large sponsors, they send back an automated message and saying, sorry, we're full, or maybe they give you a 10% on gear or something. So I've got multiple sponsors. My first sponsor I ever signed with was Defense Soap, and how I did that was I just emailed them. I sent them my resume, a highlight video, and they did get back to me. And they said, oh, we'll send you some stuff. So that was really easy. It was a really easy process. And then I also got sponsored by Killcliff, if you guys have ever seen this brand. So that's what it is. That was shameless advertising right there. But I got sponsored by Killcliff, and how they did it was I messaged them, and they messaged me back, and they said, okay, we'll send you some patches. They'll send you some patches, and wear it on your uniform, compete with the patch a couple times, and then once you get us on the podium, we'll send you some gear. So once I did that, I represented them, and I got on the podium. I got double gold at American Nationals no-gi this year. I tagged them. Unfortunately, I couldn't have their patch on, but I did tag them and everything. and they said, okay, well, we're sending you some stuff tomorrow, and that was really amazing. I still am getting over the fact that I'm actually sponsored by people. I only thought, I never imagined I could ever be sponsored for anything, especially something I love to do so much. So it's even surreal to me. So that's usually how it works.
So Adam, to answer your question, it's really awesome. Like,
I'll never underestimate the power of connection. So.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. How did you get into jiu-jitsu, Ericson? Like at 15 there.
Well, when I was 15, I had been doing some striking martial arts before. I practiced some boxing, some Muay Thai, some Taekwondo, things like that, and I liked them. I always liked doing things that were active. But as you go and you start to venture into these different things, some of my people I practiced with said, "Hey, let's do some grappling." I'm not going to call it jiu-jitsu because we weren't very good at it, and we were just trying to generally grab and pull things. And I noticed something with jiu-jitsu that it wasn't like the other martial arts for me. It was a way that it challenged me cognitively. I wasn't repetitive, and it was new every role that you did, and you had to really use your brain too. Not that you don't use your brain for boxing or Muay Thai. I mean, it takes a lot of dedication. You also have to have smarts too, but it really is like a puzzle sometimes when you're going, and for me, my personality type, being the light on your feet and bouncing around, isn't. I actually don't have that personality to do that. I don't know how to explain it, but just grabbing someone and doing jiu-jitsu, it just fit with me better. So I started doing jiu-jitsu, and that's how I started.
Can you talk about there's that photo of you like as a overweight child?
Yeah. Well,
this is the big ripped picture of you afterwards.
Yeah, I'll talk about that. So that picture was taken when I was 13. It was before I started jiu-jitsu. People thought the weight loss was from jiu-jitsu, and a lot of it was. As I started to do those striking martial arts, I lost a little bit of weight, but I found that the weight didn't really stay off. I wasn't focusing on my diet. I wasn't training every day. When I started jiu-jitsu, when you're competing, and you have to watch your weights and you're watching your diets, and also you're always having to roll with somebody else. You're not having a person catch pads for you. Your physical ability does play a major key role, not only in competing, but in training itself. So when I started jiu-jitsu, I made sure I ate healthy. But back before that, I lost a little bit of weight when I was doing those striking martial arts. But it was on and off. I would gain a little bit of weight and lose a little bit of weight. And then when I started jiu-jitsu, that's when I went from going from being a healthy weight. When I started, I was a relatively healthy weight. I still had some fat on me, but that's when I went from being just healthy to athletic, because I wanted to get as strong as I could, because you're always having to roll with other guys, and I found that athletic advantage was a big advantage. So, and I could do more. So that's it. I don't know if that answered the question very well.
Oh, it did. No, and it's great, okay, because I like that you acknowledge the fact that you need to be athletic, because there's a lot of people who honestly believe that you don't need that at all to be successful in jiu-jitsu. I mean, maybe that's okay if you're just training, right? But for a competitor like yourself, no, man, that matters. So, leading into that, so following up, let's talk about your a typical day of training. You said earlier you have classes 2 times of jiu-jitsu, 1 day of lifting, and if you could take us through another day of training with under Lucas, what he does and how he prepares you mentally.
Oh, all right. So I'll get into the first question with my daily schedule. For instance, this is what I'm doing tomorrow. It's what I do on Mondays. I wake up and I drive out to my college and to make my first biology lab at 8 o'clock, and that class usually goes from about 8 to 10. And right after the class, I run back out to go drive over to my academy, and I get there probably around 10:20, 10:25. We do a training from 10:30 to 12:30. So it's a 2-hour training, and then I drive back to my college. Keep in mind, my college is only 10 minutes away, Cal Poly Pomona. And then my school has a new gymnasium, so I lift, I shower. Sometimes I don't get very much sleep the night before, so after I lift and I shower, I will go sleep somewhere. I'll sleep in my car. I ride a motorcycle, so sometimes I don't have a place to sleep in my car, so I will go sleep on a bench. I do what I have to do. So I'll sleep on a bench or a chair in the library, and I'll set an alarm, and then I have a class at 4 o'clock, another biology class, and from 4 to 6 I have my class there, and then I drive back out to my academy and go train from 7 to 9. And yeah, it keeps me busy, but I like that. And
okay, so yeah, the second part.
Oh, the second part. When we go to training, what we usually do is we start with drills beforehand. We'll do some drills, some Toriata pass drills, and whatever Lucas feels like having us work. The primary use of the drills is to warm us up, not to. It helps you with the movement too, but really to warm us up. It warms you up really fast, and then he'll go over a technique or two. I really like how he looks at his students. He sees maybe problems we're having in our game. Maybe people are getting their guard passed too much one way, or maybe they're getting a really good opportunity to sweep, but they're having trouble finishing it. And he'll go over a technique or two that will help a large population of the class. And after we practice that for a little bit, we roll. And usually we roll for quite a bit. So I think the best practice is just to roll. So, and something about Lucas, you asked him how he usually prepares us mentally, or how he affects us mentally. Something that's really great about Lucas, I don't know if Lucas is watching right now. I told him to watch, but maybe he's not watching. He'll probably listen to it afterwards.
Lucas, watch.
He's very relatable and he's very human. I've been to a lot of academies, and some of the professors are very stoic. They almost feel unapproachable, at least to me. And Lucas is very human. He's always laughing. Sometimes he'll come out of the bathroom and he'll start singing some song. But he knows when to get serious. I'm not saying he doesn't, but it makes you feel a lot more comfortable, because you understand that even though he's a top-level athlete, he's human too. And sometimes you'll even see him get anxious about something. Maybe it's not just about competition, but you'll see him get nervous about things, and it helps us understand, like, it's okay to be nervous. It just depends on how you handle that. So he enforces us very strong mentally and emotionally. Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow. I don't even know. I don't have a follow-up for that. I'd just be like, yeah, wow. Wow, he sounds like he's amazing. I'm going to train with him.
It's important to have a professor that makes you feel comfortable and things like that. I mean, he understands that he gets stressed out about competing sometimes. He doesn't get scared, but he gets nervous too, just like everybody else. But he understands. He just tells us, even no matter what happens at the competition, make sure you guys just try your best. And yeah, he really does well. Before I've competed, I've not always been with Checkmat. We can get into that a little bit. But he's really good at making you feel good at competitions. And even after I lose, sometimes I'll feel really bad. But I remember at Nogi Worlds, I lost in the open weight. And I walked up, and I was feeling really, really bad. It was the first round of open weight, and he says, "Ericson, I'm proud of you." And instantly, I felt better. Instantly, those 4 words were they're so empowering. Just it made me, because I think the biggest fear people have when they go to compete or they want to go do something big is the fear of disappointment. And knowing that you're not going to disappoint him, and he's just glad that you're getting out there, it's very empowering.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Okay. So.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, I don't even know what to say. I wish I don't want to say I wish I had that, because I have a good support system, I guess, but
that's just the way that I feel. That's just the way that I feel how he treats me. Some people, academies aren't perfect matches for anybody. There's no best academy. It all depends on the person, which academy is right for you.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that point. I was actually just having that conversation with somebody the other day that was talking about thinking about switching academies, and it's tough because we've talked about this before. There's a stigma attached to it for sure, but I think more than anything, like when you realize that jiu-jitsu is a very personal thing, right? Like you said, there's no right academy for everybody. It's all about finding the right fit for you. So sometimes there's some place that's a better fit, and that's where you need to be to have the best training for you.
Yes. And Checkmat's Lucas's academy is a great fit for me.
Well, does Bushesh also train there? Am I wrong?
It depends. How it usually happens is there's all the black belts from Checkmat. A lot of them have their own academy, but when it comes down to competition time, we all find an academy we want to go train at. Usually it's at the one I'm at, because that was one of the first Checkmat academies. And all the black belts come down. We all train. So you'll have Bushesha and Lapella and Lucas Leite and Leo Vieira all on one mat. All the big names from Checkmat. If you get starstruck easy, just like walk slowly and make sure you don't faint, because there's a lot of big names all on one mat at one time.
That's amazing.
Do you roll with any of them at all, or not really?
It depends. When I first started, they would usually roll with me nicely, as a lot of experienced black belts do. But as I've been progressing, and sometimes I play games they're not used to, or honestly, sometimes I hope I can give them a good challenge. And some things, part of my game maybe challenges them. They do get more, not aggressive, but they do train harder with me. So, for instance, when I train with Bushesha, I'd like to say that I train with him, but mostly I try to survive.
Yeah.
When he connects his hip to my hip, when he passes my guard, I feel like I got pegged with a baseball. The guy's so strong. He's so fast for his weight too. So it's really great being able to train with them, and mostly it's great to collaborate all those games on one mat. So. And
I can't even imagine what that's like. That sounds amazing.
No, the best part is you get to watch the black belts roll together. It's like having a super fight going on. You go, oh, I wonder how this guy would train with this guy. So, and we train hard too. So it's fun to watch.
Cool.
So explain to us. You switched to Lucas Leite and Leite.
Yes.
Sorry, and so what made you switch there, and where were you before that? So
well, I started out with Gracie Baja, or some people will read the name as Gracie Barra. I started out in Upland, California at that academy there, and it was a great experience. I probably wouldn't be the jiu-jitsu fighter I am today if I didn't start there, because I was one of the only competitors at the academy, and the professors who taught there are actually very, very good. One of them, her name's Ana Laura Cordero. I don't know if you've ever heard of her, but she won Worlds this year at black belt.
Oh yeah,
people think that, and they go, why didn't you stay there? But it wasn't a competitive academy. A lot of students there didn't compete, and I got a really good start there because since I was one of the only students who competed, I did get a little bit of personal attention. They really engineered my game with a strong base. I have a lot of people don't realize I have a really good closed guard, a really good guard passing. My whole white belt career, I pretty much just smashed past guard. I didn't play too much guard. But my closed guards were really good too. The open weight final at American Nationals this year in the no-gi, I won my finals doing nothing but closed guard. I wasn't baramboloing. I wasn't doing any of that. Just playing a really tight game. So I got a really strong base. But the last year I was there for 2 years. And last year we were having to drive over to Romulo Bahal School over in California, Northridge. And it was a 90-minute drive. It's a 90-minute drive there and a 90-minute drive back. And we were going 3 times a week. That's 9 hours of driving. And I know they were really trying to help me progress. And I was building my own game, too. I started doing a little bit of barambolo. And I just feel that since they were a newer academy and they mostly had white belts and blue belts, they really didn't have the resources. And plus, some students were getting frustrated training with me because I was doing a bunch of very complex techniques like barambolo and maybe some complex spider guard sweeps. And people were getting frustrated to train with me. I noticed some guys may not have wanted to train with me. So I tried to leave as respectfully as possible, and I said thank you for all the training you've given me. And I really did try to leave respectfully, and not only for me, but I wanted their business to grow, and if people didn't want to train with me, I was being a problem too. So, and Lucas was just down the street, which is good and bad because it's a little awkward that he's just down the street.
Yeah.
But that's why I left. It's always been an awkward subject, and some people were saying things on Facebook. You guys probably heard the word creanchi, right?
Oh yeah,
that word.
sure. Yeah.
And the thing is not everybody finds the academy that's right for them right off the bat. And I think that word really stemmed from when There was no YouTube. There was no videos recorded, and people were worried about their techniques getting shared and things like that. But I barely competed when I was at Gracie Barra. I've mostly been competing when I've been with Checkmat. And I was 17. I was still going to high school, and I was a blue belt. And like when those guys go and they say that, I'm almost laughing. I go, are you serious right now? Because I was only 17 and a blue belt. I'm not even an adult. So you guys are saying that word. But I looked back and I actually realized the people saying that weren't the people who were competitors. Most of the competitors that I knew from like Romulo school said, you have to do what's right for you to progress your jiu-jitsu. A lot of the guys who were saying that were the people who didn't like to train with me and things like that. So
you know what? Like 99% of the time, and for lack of a better term, it's butthurt. That's all it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just people that get their noses bent out of shape, just because. You know, and people have a weird allegiance. Like, people will have an allegiance to a particular school and say, like, this school for life, even if it's not the best place for them. And it's, I don't get where that comes from. And and it's those people that'll throw those types of words around. Because
man.
Yeah,
like,
well,
I know. Oh, sorry. Just to say.
You first.
Yeah, I know. I know a guy in Ottawa. This is a city in Canada, Ericson. If you're just the case, okay, never mind. Anyway,
Canada sometime.
Yeah, it's a great place, but it's really cold here actually. It's snowing, but yeah. So anyway, I knew a guy. He got a tattoo of his school. I don't want to say the school.
Yeah, a lot of guys do that.
Yeah, and they ended up kicking him out, so he's at another school now. So he looks
wow.
I'm really against. I feel like I can understand somebody getting a tattoo if they got. I still probably would never do it, but if you got a black belt under a certain affiliation, maybe. But even then, like,
I still think get a jiu-jitsu related tattoo. Don't
don't get one of an affiliation because you don't know if you're going to be with that affiliation forever.
Well, not even that, but what if the affiliation just changes their logo?
I know, right? Like, and that happens, man.
Well, I remember one guy.
Logo. Well, one guy in high school, there was this beer called Red Dog or Red Bull. I don't know. No, Red Dog. Adam, do you remember? You're a beer guy.
That was like $1 beer. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he had a tattoo on his chest.
Well, that sounds really classy. $1 beer tattoo on your chest.
Yeah, back in the $1 beer days.
And then the company went bankrupt and they shut down. He was the biggest tool. But
I can't think of anything in my life that I love enough a brand to tattoo like a brand name on me. And that's
unless it was Adam's face.
Logo, that's a brand name. That's all it is.
Well, I'll state my official thing of how I feel about when people leave affiliations. I don't think you should cross-train too much. Lucas has openly said you guys can go to other academies and go train at seminars and go do a training at an academy, but I don't believe like you should go like 50% to one, 50% to another if you're competing. Now, if you just like jiu-jitsu and you're not really competing too much, you can go wherever you want, learn from anyone you want. Lucas has even said, I can't teach you everything. His half guard's amazing, but he's even asked me, hey, Ericson, I get stuck in this position with the Berimbolo. What do you think would be a good thing to do? It's really, really amazing. It amazed me the first time he asked me to have such a high-level black belt ask me a question like that. But it's true. If someone asked me a question about butterfly guard, I would say I don't know too much about butterfly guard. So you may have to ask somebody else. So it's cool that he says I can't teach you everything, but I think you should try to stick to your academy you're at. And you have to realize when you leave an academy, people get very upset because you build some of the strongest bonds with your teammates. You build a bond with your teammates unlike anything else. You're trying to choke each other, and some people think that would make you not like each other. But I always hang out with my teammates afterwards, and when you go and you leave, it doesn't only impact you; it impacts them too. And at my old academy, I didn't have too many friends after a while, especially I was younger. People didn't really see me as an adult. Now at Checkmat, I'm always driving myself to training, and they see me as an adult. But I didn't have too many friends, but I could never leave my teammates at Checkmat right now. But I'm getting a good training too, so I think I found the academy that's right for me. But sometimes people don't find the greatest academy for them the first time. Maybe if you want to compete, you have to go to a new academy. So that's my view on it. You shouldn't cross-train necessarily all the time, but I think people should be able to train where they want to train.
Yeah.
Whoa! Oh, I heard a train.
Yeah, that's San Francisco. There. That's
Glad to
Robbie.
be back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so sorry. That took me out of my groove there.
Robbie's in the car waiting to pick him up.
Yeah. But
but yeah,
the word Federaci is a little outdated, in my opinion. It's a little
it is,
outdated.
man. It's
Yeah,
all dinosaurs who still believe in that. It's like, I don't know what else. I don't know. It's like an old methodology, I guess. Is that a
But
word?
the crazy thing is that the people that believe in it, like, firmly believe in it. Like, remember we had that conversation with Tim Spriggs on not too long ago, and yeah, that was an extremely frustrating conversation for me.
I really liked that conversation because I was just listening to him say it, and I was like in awe that somebody genuinely believed it. You know, if somebody like really believes in UFOs and they're so passionate and they're talking to you about it, I will listen to them because I'm like,
The aliens guy.
the passion this man has is it's amazing.
Well, like I said, we were talking about gray areas earlier. I think it's a topic that has a lot of gray areas. For instance, when I left, I was paying tuition at Gracie Baja. A lot of people talk, oh, the people when they leave were the people who weren't paying tuition and things like that. And even if you weren't paying tuition, sometimes they pay their tuition with cleaning the mats and things like that. But it's a lot of gray area. Some people have to move for their job, and then it's okay. But then someone has to move because they want their jiu-jitsu to progress, and then it's not okay. And it's a lot of gray areas. Someone even told me a funny story. Someone said to me, Ericson, just make sure you're always loyal to your professor. Always be loyal to Checkmat. Always be loyal to Lucas. And I said, is that before or after I switched from Gracie Baja? And he paused. He said, after you switched.
Yeah.
You know what? It's like somebody who isn't loyal, like with someone before, and then they come to you, and it's like you have to be loyal. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Now it does get a little.
I'm keeping it PG.
I thought it was gonna turn into a Chris Brown song for a second.
I'm keeping it PG though. I'm keeping it PG, but, so I don't want to say it, but.
It's a little crazy when someone does switch around academies about like 5 times or something. I mean, you should try to find a place where you feel happy. I mean, but switching once because you need to progress your jiu-jitsu and maybe you started at not a very competitive academy and you want to be a competitor, I think that's understandable. Especially, I really tried to leave respectfully. I didn't say I'm leaving over like a text or anything or a phone call. I actually went in and talked to them in person.
That's very mature, man. Especially since you were only 17 or whatever, man.
When there was no one else there too.
And it sounds like you were just scraping everybody, so you had to grow, man. So whatever. If you're scraping everyone, then you gotta move on. So you did the right choice, and obviously it worked out. And so anyway, but I digress. I think I used.
So Ericson, I was gonna ask. So you said you're in kinesiology, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your plan for when you're done college? So you get your kines degree, and then where are you hoping to go from there?
The great thing
ask the young guys this question.
The great thing is I don't know exactly which field in physical therapy I want to go to, but there's so many opportunities. There's in California here we have the Orange County Fight Doctors, OC Fight Docs, and they always work with the MMA fighters and help them through training. Or I could work in a hospital setting. You could get hired on by a sports team and be a physical therapist just for the sports team. There's so many different applications. You can even, if you want to go train full-time while being a physical therapist, you can do home visits and then have your schedule around your training because you schedule home visits, things like that. So I don't know exactly. I don't think I'm going to open up my own center, but I like how I have those options. So I wanted to start physical therapy because I have gotten injuries in jiu-jitsu or injuries outside that have stopped me from training, or those injuries hampered my training. They were a roadblock, and it's very stressful, especially if you're a competitor and you have an ankle that's hurt or your biceps hurt and you can't train 100%. You want to train so bad. And I think people who aren't even competitors but they just like to train, they can relate to this, and I want to help people through that experience. If somebody hurts themselves, help maybe rehabilitate whatever injury they have while they're training so that they can have a less stressful experience about that and heal faster.
But have you had any kind of major injuries with jiu-jitsu, or just?
I talk and I say, "Oh, it's not that bad." They go, "Dude, your knee popped." I've had all sorts of like my right knee's popped a couple of times. I don't know if it was the meniscus or the tendon on there. I just rehabilitated it, and I haven't had any injuries where I've actually had to take a huge amount of time off though. I've had all the minor ones. Maybe you get your ankle stretched, or sometimes even in competitions, I fought out of like joint locks, and my arm is sore for the next month. But I haven't had any ones that are probably going to impact me majorly. I've never broken anything or completely torn everything. So one of the injuries that actually hampered me the most was cauliflower ear. I did not like that at all.
I wish I had that.
Did
Trust me, you don't. I got it during
I've
competition.
never had it, man. I feel like a mark, man.
I tried to wear the ear protectors, but I feel like a dog that's wearing one of those cones, when they get a surgery. I feel like a dog wearing a cone when I'm rolling like that, so I just drained it a lot, and actually it doesn't look that bad. Usually I don't get it because my ears are so soft, but I got a little.
Speaking of cauliflower, did anybody happen to watch the fights last night?
No. I
saw a couple of them.
Yeah.
Hold on, was it the female match?
Yeah, I think Leslie.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Leslie Smith.
I saw that picture. Oh my gosh, I almost spilled my coffee. I saw that picture. Oh my gosh.
It's not good at all.
People talk about that, but there's very little footage of it actually happening.
Yeah, no, it's
That's not good.
It's not good. Protect your ears,
What is
kids.
she doing? Yeah. Never mind. I don't want to.
I hope she'll be okay.
They can just sew those things back on, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit of duct tape, all good.
Hey, Ericson, tell us about the whole warm-up thing with Meow there. How'd that even happen, and like, why were you helping him warm up? Like, it's a strange story, you know?
It's an interesting story. So I was going, and I went to the World Jiu-Jitsu Expo out at the Long Beach Convention Center in California. I didn't sign up because, once again, I'm trying to get a little bit of a break from competition. I was competing every 2 weeks. It gets very stressful because you have to always keep your weight on. You can't really change your game. But my dad was competing, so I went down there, and I was wanting to watch him compete and things like that. And they have all those seminars, so I brought a gi or two, and I said, okay, I might go look at the seminars. And I figured out after a while, on a side note, I don't go to too many seminars. The reason why is a lot of the seminars are geared towards all levels, and not that that's bad, but is people always ask, are you going to go to the Mendez Brothers seminar? And I say no, and they go, why? I say, because anything they teach, I'm already going to know, because they're going to be having to teach it to white belts too. So sometimes
I love it, man. I love it. That's great.
But back on that. But after they did the seminars, they'd always have some open mat time, or the mat would kind of clear out. So I had a friend who was there, and we were rolling. I was rolling with one of my friends who was a blue belt. And I have a lot of very complex Varambola variations that you don't see in tutorial videos online. I didn't get taught by anybody. I study a lot of matches, and I actually type up notes on the things I see, and I have a whole system with that. But I have a lot of variations where they don't have tutorials, and maybe I should go and try to make money by posting some of these variations. But my dad told me afterwards that Paulo was watching us roll. If you guys don't know about the Meow Brothers, they don't at competitions or at places like this, they don't go sit in a corner. Usually they like to watch people competing, or they'll go and they'll watch their matches. And he also had footage of him warming up last time with his brother, but his brother wasn't there. And my dad said he was watching us roll, and I was doing all these complex variations. I got done rolling with my friend, and I was about to walk off, and he came over. He said something to me I didn't understand because his English isn't very good. Leo Vieira was near us. He was teaching a seminar, so I called him over, and he said he wants to go and do some training with you. He wants to go drill with you. So then I tried to keep my face as cool, calm, and collected as possible, and not start freaking out, because I've been following the Meow Brothers ever since I was a early blue belt or even a white belt. I idolize them. It's not even a joke. I've watched every bit of footage on them. And to the fact that I didn't even ask to roll with him, he asked to roll with me. Like I was just trying to keep myself calm. So some of those variations in the beginning of the video there were a little sloppy because I was nervous. I was so nervous. I hope I didn't show it too much because I was trying to keep my face calm. But I was amazing that I got to experience that. So that's how that happened. He saw me rolling with my friend. I was doing all my Barambolo stuff, rolling around, and he was watching it afterwards. He asked to drill with me because he wanted to warm up, and he likes to warm up by rolling and drilling and things like that. So, yeah, and he destroyed my guard.
Wow, man. I mean, yeah, I saw the clip just, and we shared it actually. So for those who may have missed it, check it out on the Facebook page or on www.justtogeetup.com. We posted it there. Still, man, that's amazing though, to be approached by somebody of that high caliber.
Yeah.
So,
I see a lot of comments on that video, and they say, "Oh, he only wants to drill Barambolo," and actually, he was drilling a lot of Worm Guard. Worm Guard's starting to become very popular. I haven't added it into my game yet because I have a certain system that I add things into my game, and I can get into that later. But he was drilling a lot of Worm Guard, and it was really interesting to watch. And he also let me drill some of my stuff too, so he was very polite and didn't just say, "I'm going to drill on you," and you do nothing. And then we rolled. I let him play his guard first. His guard's impossible to pass, almost. And I tried, though. And then I played guard, and he smashed it so bad. A lot of people think they only do Barambolo, and they're good from all positions. A lot of top-level black belts are good from all positions, but they just use techniques that are complicated like that because they're very hard to understand, and you have to have a lot of knowledge on it, and it's very... You can catch it from a lot of positions, but their guard passing is phenomenal. Phenomenal. So if anybody says that Meow Brothers can't pass guard, I learned from first-person experience, and I'm a guard player, but he bulldozed through it. He demolished my guard. So. But I was so happy while he was doing it. I was going, "Oh my gosh, I'm being smashed by Paula Meow right now." So yeah.
Do you find that your game has changed a lot training under Lucas? Like, have you added much half guard stuff to your game, or is it pretty much the same as it was?
It's changed in different ways. He's helped me find the holes in my game less than he's actually helped me add things to it. And what that means is when I started, my game has changed so much. When I was a white belt, like I said, I smashed past, I played close guard, I did some takedowns. When I first started competing as a blue belt, my first year as a blue belt, I actually started doing some deep half guard because I always like to keep really tight to the guy. I did like to keep really tight to the guy, so I was playing a lot of deep half guard, sweeping from there and then passing. And it wasn't until right before I joined Checkmat around 2013 American Nationals where I won a double gold at the blue belt juvenile for American Nationals. I started doing Barambolo. That's when I hit my first Barambolo in competition. Was American Nationals 2013. So it's only been a year. When I joined Checkmat, I attacked the Barambolo really aggressively, and he told me your guard is really, really, really aggressive, but you need to try to get your guard retention better. And that's when I started trying to add things, and I play some lapel guard too, not as a form of attack, but to retain my guard and then to set my other guards up really tight. So from the lapel guard, I'll go to the De La Hiva, or from the lapel guard, I'll go to the lasso because you have a very large radius of guard retention instead of just right in front of you. And I try to play it as aggressively as possible, and I don't use it as a stalling position. And he helps me find other holes in my game. For instance, one of the first competitions I did under Checkmat, I won gold at like a All America's North American Open or something. It was a smaller one, but I beat some guys by like 24-0. Everybody was saying, "Wow, that's so great," and that's not really great because I would get to a good position like the back, and I'd go for the attack too fast, and I wouldn't really control the guy, and I'd lose the position, have to start all over, and it's really hard on your cardio, putting in all that work, losing it, and then having to put in all the work to go. So he's helped me do things like keep game tighter, to say you need to get better guard retention. He's given me some tips with that too, with certain grips. I don't play too much half guard. To answer that question, I like to distance manage a little bit. I don't like the guys being able to put their weight on me, but I think his half guard's really really amazing. And I try to stop him from getting it, but he's so good at getting it. And once he actually sets up his half guard on me, I pretty much have to decide, am I going to let him sweep me or take my back? Because when he sweeps, he goes straight to the side mount, or he can take my back. And his half guard's phenomenal. But he's good from all positions too. So.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, Adam always, when he hears half guard, his eyes light up.
A lot of people really love it.
Yeah, Adam's in very, he's very, passionate about half guard.
I can't.
I like half guard. I mean, I don't think it's real jiu-jitsu, but I like it. Like when I see it, I'm like, oh, here's this guy snuzzling his ear to his crotch. Oh, that's nice. And Adam hangs there, and he just chills, and he just, it's like, all right, I'm just joking, though. A lot of people can stall and win doing that, so I respect that.
What's your opinion on the whole real jiu-jitsu thing with the everybody goes, oh, that's not street I think we've all heard that. That's not street applicable. Guard pulling should be banned, things like that.
I hate that. Jiu-jitsu is a sport, man. Like, I mean, realistically, even with my sport jiu-jitsu, I'll kick the ass of anyone who doesn't do jiu-jitsu. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I like...
The only problem you'd run into is if the person is like a trained MMA fighter, in which case I probably wouldn't fight him anyway.
I have a really good argument. I have a really good argument for it, and what I say is, if people say, "Oh, that's not street applicable," just like with me, I have really good smash passing too. I did it that was my game for like an entire year, and I still do it at the academy. I usually pull guard, so I don't get to do it in competition as much. But I do know how to smash pass, and I'm working on my takedowns more. And I don't think people realize you can work on both. And like I said, Paul smashed me. He smashed me.
Not only that though, like you don't. I feel like I couldn't imagine like I go and drop into somebody's guard in a street fight, and then I'm working to smash his guard, and like I feel like it's just not gonna go down. I'll probably just jump past his guard.
Well, for me, you shouldn't pull guard in a street fight, and everybody thinks if you pull guard in a competition, you'll pull guard in a street fight, and that's not true. The reason why we pull guard in competition is for the sport that we are doing, where punches aren't allowed. It's a good advantage, and when people say, "Oh, just don't do it and practice it like real jiu-jitsu," like the light featherweights who want to do open weight division, they're never going to be able to take down a super heavyweights. I'm not going to say never, but most will never be able to take down. But when they drop into their guard and they have positions that use so much leverage, or they can hop on their back, it gives those people an opportunity to do that. And then it capitalizes on the whole thing of a smaller guy can beat a bigger guy.
Yeah, like the smaller guy can beat a bigger guy. That's typically of a person who hasn't trained. Like I could probably beat. Like I love like my favorite thing that happened, or like my favorite moment in jiu-jitsu was this one like he was like 300 pounds or something like that, and he was huge. And I just remember like rolling with him, and I just kind of like did whatever I wanted to him, and it was like that was a very cool experience because that was the first time where I got to see that like not the smallest guy, but I feel like in a street fight that's pretty much what like you'd be fine. I don't even think that's a problem.
Yeah, I think people who are usually butthurt about that's not real sports jiu-jitsu are usually that's not real jiu-jitsu are usually the ones who are getting dummied in the club or in tournaments and stuff like that. I mean that's just how it is.
Go
for takedowns, but they never really. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just jealousy there.
I don't blame any position. Like, so one of my teammates has been pulling. When I try to leg drag him, he pulls my leg into the 50-50. And a lot of guys go, oh, 50-50s for stalling, don't use it. And I blame myself more because every position has potential and every position is good. And even 50-50, like, I think Keenan made a post one time. He said, if I ever have to do a self-defense, I'm going to put the guy in 50-50 and make him sit there because he won't be able to punch me. And I say, you know what, instead of going and trashing the 50-50, I need to get better at passing it because it's me who's not able to get out of it. So
I really hope I get into a street fight sometime soon because I will just pull 50-50 and just keep
That's not good. Don't get in a street fight.
I'd love to do that though.
What about all the broken glass on the ground and the hypodermic needles, Rami?
Yeah, like the hooker who's kicking you in the back and Rami lives in a shady part, man. It's a shady part of San Fran. So I mean, Rami, are there not hookers all over the place?
I mean, not really.
Oh, he knows where they all are. He knows where they all are. He's just not telling.
It's just that he knows all of their locations.
He's on a first name basis.
I don't have to live near them. I just know where they are.
Are they no, seriously question, serious question. Sorry to off topic, but are they attractive looking or are they like the rundown ones?
Like the ones that are like in the tenderloin. No, there's not. No, I've yet to see one that I would find attractive.
Okay, all right. Okay,
Looks,
sorry, back on
looks
topic.
cost extra.
This got interesting.
We went to a dark place here, folks. We went to a dark place. Ericson is too young to know about these things, Ahmed.
Although
well,
I did see a prostitute pick some guy pick up a prostitute outside my building
Wow.
a couple of weeks ago.
You can cross that one off the bucket list then.
It was a guy Rami knows.
It was a friend.
Oh, anyway, all right. So yeah, we're keeping it PG, PG for you guys. So that's why we haven't sworn or anything. So you know what? Final question, man. We're coming up on the hour, and we really are. Not like what I say to other guests when I want them off.
Yeah.
But, so
all right.
I'm sorry. So this is for real. Oh, I had this written down. It's really nice. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I think I sent this to you as well. But thoughts on the future of the sport? Something to change the sport in such a way that it can be a profitable avenue. Now you said that you would like to possibly open up a practice, maybe do some home sessions and whatnot, but let's take that out of the picture. Well, what else do you think, in your opinion, if you give us the big 20,000-foot picture that could be done?
For me or the entire sport?
Yeah, no, for you, man. Like, let's.
Oh, for me.
Yeah, who cares about everyone else? So you want to make
a lot of people. First, to start with, like goals in jiu-jitsu, I do have I'm not going to call it the generic goal because I don't think anybody's personal goal should be belittled. But I have the goal of I want to be a world champion, things like that. But more importantly, I always want to be progressing. I love that feeling of when I look back a year and I go, I knew nothing then. And hopefully a year from now, I'll look back at myself now and I go, I knew my techniques I knew, they're nothing compared to the techniques I know now. And mostly I want to help as many people like progress their game and improve their life through jiu-jitsu as much as possible. And just constantly improve. And a lot of people look at that goal and they say, oh, anybody can do that, though. It's not a goal that's, it's not an ambitious goal. And just because anybody can do it doesn't mean it's a goal I don't want to have. But as for my goals for opening up an academy, I don't actually want to open up an academy. The reason why is I don't think we have a shortage of academies, especially in Southern California. Some of the strongest academies I've ever seen, like Atos, they have a lot of black belts there. They have a lot of black belts, and like I was talking about our trainings earlier, you have a bunch of different black belts collaborating on the training and sharing their game, and if you spread them out and you only have one black belt at an academy, it's only half the knowledge you could have. So helping out at a previously existing academy, or maybe having Lucas go, and if he goes off to do a seminar, I can fill in for him and help him that way. That would be really good, but mostly I just want to go and just keep the love of jiu-jitsu going. I don't ever put pressure and say I have to win this, and I think that makes me compete even better and I achieve more, knowing that I just try to keep the love of jiu-jitsu alive and don't try to think of it as a job, because that's why we all originally started. We never started thinking I need to make this into a job, and eventually a lot of people start to lose the love of jiu-jitsu, and I keep on loving it. So as my things for an academy, I don't think I'd ever open an academy, but definitely going and being a black belt at a previously existing academy and then helping them with that, that's what I might do. So.
Beautiful answer. No, it's well said.
Thank you.
So, Ericson, do you have any, I know we talked a little bit about sponsors already, but do you have some sponsors you want to do shout-outs to as we wrap up?
I want to give some shout-outs to some sponsors. So, of course, I want to give a shout-out to my sponsor, Defense Soap. I hope you guys can see that logo great. And I have another sponsor, Kill Clip. We already mentioned there. They make really, really, really great drinks. A lot of people think they're energy drinks, but they're recovery drinks. They have vitamins. They barely have any caffeine. And they're really, really great, and I love them. Also, my sponsors, some of my new sponsors, Ticket Dump and 3%. Guys, check those ones out. Those guys are really good too. If you don't want to check them out for their products, just check them out because they're supporting up-and-coming athletes like me. And even if I might not be able to bring in a whole bunch of sales, it's really cool that their love of jiu-jitsu, they can go and try to support guys like me. So if you don't like their products, try to support them just because they're helping me reach my dreams, and maybe one day you'll get sponsored and they can help you reach your dreams too.
Ericson, what is 3% and what is ticket dump? You got to tell us, man. Like, what is that?
Ticket Dump is a law firm. A law firm. The guy does, like I was emphasizing the thing of how sometimes it may not improve business. They're a law firm, but the guy who owns it or the guy who works there does jujitsu too. So we're wearing the Ticket Dump logo, and maybe we're not going to bring people into a law firm, but he is supporting us. So, but also they make managing tickets easy. I've never gotten a traffic ticket, but I've had a few friends who have, and people who've gone there. And you send it to them, and getting pulled over by the police is very scary. I have gotten pulled over once or twice, so it's very scary. So you don't have to be alone in that. You can go and have them help you out with that. And 3% is a lifestyle brand. It's a lot of people mistake what it's about. They think that it's 3% of people can only be successful, and what it really is about is it's the mentality to be an individual and be a small portion of the population, maybe a lot of population. Someone would say something to them and they let it beat them down, but you're going to be the one who doesn't let that destroy you, and if you fall, you're going to be the one who gets back up and keeps on going. And when 97% of the people say you can't do this, it's not going to be possible, like me going to college and training jiu-jitsu, I want to help other people and help them realize that you can go and get a college education and train jiu-jitsu. A lot of 97% of the population say, oh, you can't do it. Be part of that 3% who says, no, I can make this possible. I can do that. And they support a lot of up-and-coming athletes. I think they're centralized towards Sweden. The guy who I talked to is from Sweden. And, yeah, that's what it is. So it has a big misconception about what it's about. I think even Lloyd Irvin started the
That's what I was going to ask.
Right,
because
exactly.
Like the 3%er thing, it definitely does evoke this.
And they got especially with the drama they had with their students back a while ago. A lot of people were very against that, and I did do a lot of research because I'm not going to put my name in something that will be negatively influenced. But I said this is a great mentality, and he explains the mentality in a video. You can look up 3% and go under videos, and you'll probably find it. Lloyd Irvin does it, and he says it doesn't even pertain to athletes. Maybe you're the one who, maybe you want to be the best dad you can be. Maybe you want to be a good husband, something like that. It doesn't just pertain to athletes, but that's the way I see it. And I think a lot of things can be translated into how you want to see it, and that mentality of being small, and it's not meant to be a physical number. But when a lot of people tell you you can't do this, or a lot of people are trying to be all the same, being an individual is important. So that's the way I take their message. And if you don't want to just apply the message, just like I said, go and support them, because they're helping young athletes who, like me, I'm 18. I don't have very much funding. It's going to be hard for me to buy gear and to go to places, but they're helping me reach my dreams, and something that never would have been possible without these sponsors. So if you think they're bad people, they're being good and helping people like me. So yeah, I hope that answered the question.
No, it definitely answered it, man. That was awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So Ericson, again, thank you so much for coming on. For those of you who don't know who Ericson is, like I said, we'll share the highlight video. Check him out. He has an athlete page on Facebook, so like that.
Check out that highlight video. I put it up. I made it myself. I only had it off of cell phone footage because my dad usually records my matches off of my cell phone. So people say it's really exciting. I tried to make it exciting as possible, but I did what I could with cell phone footage. So hopefully I'll get a GoPro or something sometime, be able to get some nice footage.
It's very dramatic. It kind of makes you feel like you're in an epic movie while you're watching it. So
yeah, I did my best.
All right, so Ericson, thanks again for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was a pleasure talking with you guys.
All right, so that's a wrap for episode 8 of Just the Gi Top podcast. Tune in next week. We'll have somebody else awesome. Have a good week.
All right.